Hi and welcome to Star Lighthouse. I'm Prashant and this is weekly reading for Sun, Moon, Venus rising in Taurus. This is a general read, so please take all those messages that resonate with you and leave everything else behind. And if this reading does happen to connect with you, there is an extended to it. The link for that extension is below in the description box. I hope you like the reading, and if you do, please like, subscribe, and share. That would be very helpful. So, Taurus, how are you doing? How is December so far for you? Hopefully you're able to find some sort of calmness if this year was tough in any way for you. Maybe some sort of way to turn over that page. Some sort of contentment within you. Connection to holiday spirit would allow that. Find connection to family and friends even over videos if that's possible. Alright, Taurus. Let's focus on the question that brought you to this reading. Take a deep breath. Exhale and let everything else from your mind go. Just that question on your mind, and let's see if this reading has an answer for you. Ten of Swords, painful conclusion. Let's see what's stopping the ending of it. Five of Wands. It's pointing towards inner conflicts, or even possibly the chaotic conversations might be carrying forward right now. It seems like a relationship has ended in the past, or altogether situation has ended. You're in mental conflict as to how to proceed, and also some of the emotional baggages are carrying forward, or even the conversation are still not completed. Past situations, Chariot energy. So it's pointing out that in your past by itself, you decided to leave something. It was your own decision. That's the Chariot card. Now, the painful conclusion is setting in, and that's understandable. That despite you deciding to leave a situation or a relationship, you are having hard time in this moment as to fully let go of it psychologically. And that's very human because it takes a while, especially if the situation you were involved in lasted years. As psychology gets attached to it, and as a habitual cycle, it seeks for it. So now when you end it completely, then in that scenario, your mind craves for it like a drug, as if it got addicted to something completely negative. It's just to be treated from a very different perspective, that when you leave something behind, that you focus on spending days reminding yourself that it was your decision and there was a reason behind it. Even if you have forgotten in this moment, there was a reason behind it. It's like when you're developing a new habit, after 3 or 4 weeks, your body or mind says to do something else. It's the same way. Think of it in a reverse, in a scenario where now your mind has left a habit, so after 3 to 4 weeks it would crave again for it. So that's the situation you're going in right now. It's like a mental conflict. Do I go back? Something I decided to leave. Mind's ambition, fortitude, strength. Find some resolution inside you. Heart's desire, Seven of chalices, daydreaminess, future situation, Six of swords. So Six of swords is leaving behind the past. See how the three people on that boat is blocked by six swords. Those six swords right now are marking your past that you need to psychologically eliminate from your system. Now, in these three cards, if you look at it, in the background there's a white shadow figure. It's representing a version of you which is dead or which has been left behind. In the center, the mother figure, it's kind of your own self that's guiding you through this moment. We tend to be so critical with ourselves, especially when we go through tough situations or dark situations, and we seemingly forget how to be our own parent. So this card very well points towards that. Be your own parent. Find resolution between your own mind, your own heart, believing that the decision to leave behind the old was yours. The time is just testing you. It's just testing you to see if you would quit your new journey. If you really have the strength to what it takes to get to the other side. Or are you one of those who would retort back to the old way? Future possibility suggests that you will leave behind the past. But that requires you to find resolution to these mental conflicts. Conflicts that you're hoping to go back to past and maybe use this daydreaminess to recreate an abundant future in a similar setting. It's not possible. It's basically definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different result, as Einstein said. Suggested advice or action. Emperor card. Context for this advice or action. Knight of Wands. So Emperor card could be that you left behind a whole family system or a group of people. It's pointing towards institutions as in like the group system, the family, peer group that you grew up in. And there often comes a point in a lot of our lives, like a lot of people have, where we realize that we no longer identify to who we were or who we grew up to be. And we have now a sudden mental and heart change. And we had a realignment, basically kind of a realignment in our identity. And what I mean by that is we realized that some of the things have to be left behind. And it always happens every few years, maybe decades for some people. It always comes a point where you come to like a proper ending of an old situation. But because we seemingly get emotionally and psychologically attached to it like a drug, we tend not to decide to leave that behind. And we constantly daydream, fantasize about it, hoping time and again, tomorrow would be a better day, tomorrow will be a better day. Man, today is the day to leave it behind. Knight of Wands is a card pointing towards that you made this decision to support your own ambitions, to support your own contentment and happiness. And don't let anyone else guilt you that it's wrong. We somehow have a tendency especially from close relationship, we have a tendency of taking guilt from them if we choose not to connect with them, if we choose to let go some of those close relationships we grew up with. We somehow carry these guilt within us that we just release the other person, and we are supposed to be responsible for it. Like both before and after. Like before releasing, we're supposed to be responsible for that person, and after releasing that person, we are responsible for its guilt. Both of them are just ways of your mind creating a conflict to make you retort back to an old negative environment. Hopes and fears. Fearing death. Potential outcome. Queen of Chalices, balancing emotion. So you're fearing death in this moment. I would take a different spin and say one thing, that you actually might be intuitively expecting it now. That there would be this inner feeling inside you, know somewhere what you were or what you lived as, your old version, is seemingly coming to an end, is going to cease to exist. It's not that you per se would be dead or something, no. Rather, your new version would be very reformed. It would have learned the lessons from the old. A lot of people would not be able to even identify you as a person because their brains cannot comprehend that much change. And those are the specific people that induce guilt when you leave them behind. So those are the set of people that you should never feel guilty about. It's really important for you to understand. Chariot, deciding to move forward, it's only possible when your mind and heart got connected. Now, even if that happened momentarily basis, like your intuitions fired up and you said, okay, I'm leaving this thing. Even then, you have to trust it because there was a reason behind it. The conflict that you're going on in this moment is just your mind, psychology telling you, I don't want to process this pain because I'm addicted to that pain. Now, so can you find the strength within you to just breathe through this moment? When you feel like you want to go back to a negative situation, can you write down why you want to do that? Maybe your mind will tell you that you should not be doing that thing. And you will focus on the future. The death, the transformation will happen. Now it's up to you how hard or easy you want to make that process. You can make it really hard by being completely resistant to it, by not choosing to change, let time flow by, and then maybe a few months later you're the same person but the environment around you has completely changed. You didn't adapt. Now you didn't adapt, now the situation is even harder for you. Or you could be the other person who invites this death because it completely understands that the past truly was holding me down. And I no longer want to be that person who is held down. So what I need to do is truly understand why my mind craves to go back, write down the reasons. Then start writing down the reasons why you truly want to go on the other side. Your mind has that answer. Don't think it does not. Once you start writing it down, it will produce the answer. Then use your prefrontal cortex to analyze information in front of you. Make these sound decisions of keep moving forward. Your mind would tell you the reasons you should not go back in the past. All those reasons are the swords that are blocking you from moving forward. Remove them, make mental note of them, and then move forward. Your mind will never ever retort to those old, terrible relationships. Be your own parent, guide the ship. This death is happening, I would suggest. Flow with it. Learn to balance your ship during this troubled time. You will pass through. Whenever you want to retort back, just try to answer why, and then let your mind also answer why not. You will find why not is a better answer than why to stay behind. It's time to release the old and move to the new. Taurus, I hope this reading resonated with you, and if it did, I have an extended. In the extended, I would further look at how do you release the past, messages from the animal spirit, message from Oracle about how to find a balance and move towards the future. All of that is in the extended. Link for that is below in the description box. Taurus, I hope you liked the reading, and if you did, please do like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for joining me, and have an amazing week. Bye.